What's happening, people, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Today I'll be talking about, and I want to listen to this little sound clip which I found on TikTok, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And we're going to be talking about a college lecturer who was talking about trade apprenticeships. So what I like to do first is always play the clip for a bit of context so you can understand what we'll be talking about today. And let's roll the clip.
There's always statistics out there about the skill shortage in construction.
That's
now,
true.
For me, we have students and we've got students that are keen, that are working really, really hard. For me, the onus as well is on employers to engage with colleges of further education.
You see what he's saying there from the beginning? The onus is on employers to engage. Put it this way, yeah? 99% of colleges, yeah, have no relationship with any employers at all. And they do that on their own merit, yeah? I don't know what they've done to any employers. They don't invite them, engage them. And you know what? A lot of employers, if they do come there, they're coming for a photo. That's all they're coming for, you know? They're not coming to see the best student and to be able to grab them out. I've not seen that in 9 years. And I've been at private training centers. I've been at FE colleges. You just don't see these things happening, right? So them having a breakdown when it comes to communication with the college, it's a common thing. You've got one person who's supposed to be finding everybody these apprenticeship opportunities and work experience. Guess what? That department is tired, it's cooked, it's done. It always has been done. I guess they've always got to tell your parents, yeah, oh, if they go to this development place, they're able to get, you know, a job opportunity. That's a cap. That's a lie. That is such a lie. I'm not going to lie to you. I've told you before, when you come onto my channel, yeah, I tell the truth. I've been there. I've been in these colleges, yeah. And when I ask them about local businesses or blah, blah, blah business, yeah, do you have any contacts to them? Do I have any contacts to them? What are you talking about? It's your job to do that. But they've not decided to make a connection between them and the college, right? So in full, the plumbers or the other tradespeople who are signed up, I can only speak about plumbing, yeah? So the plumbers in a lot of those circumstances do not get that work experience of that local business who's promoting so hard. Do you get it? And this is the thing. We know that we need certain amount of assessments to be signed off as a plumber by another plumber on site, right? For your portfolio. If you was to build that connection with people, it would make it easier for people to get their portfolio signed off. It's just a fact. It's not something that you have to wonder about. It's a fact. Why it doesn't happen is because people cannot be bothered to be able to start some type of community where they are speaking to the colleges and where they are speaking to the employers, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm going to get onto the employers in a second because employers are running from colleges because kids, I say kids, young people are a liability. They're a effing liability. I'm not going to lie to you. I work with them, so I would know. I teach them in college, like day to day, but you still have to tell them to take their hat off. You still have to tell them to get off their phone. You still have to do all of this, yeah, while still wanting to recommend you to John, who runs Top Flight Business over there. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not been happening for some years. And that whole synergy, what the college can't get right year after year after year, what employers can't seem to grasp, you know what? Let me go in and get the best student. This concoction, yeah, has bumped heads for so long, and it's only the few who have apprenticeships, yeah, are in a better position than the rest of the people. And that's a fact, because they would love to get you to your level 2 and then tell you, oh, to advance, you need to find yourself an employment, blah, 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 blah. They're going to struggle during that time to find the employment. What help has the college given them? Not a lot. Go to the careers department. What's the careers department going to tell you? They don't know themselves. They don't have no contacts to give you from when you start college to when you leave college. First thing they're going to say to you is, go and do some research yourself. Go out and go and find something yourself. But can't you assist me? Can't you help me? I need assistance. Those are the key words to say. But again, when they've got nothing built in place, yeah, I went to a college which is in King's Cross, let's say, that area. And again, you would think that there's a lot of properties being built. There's a lot of people that do developments around that type of area. Someone would be interested in coming into the college and doing something. No, they're not. They're not. Because they look at like the representation what the college has, if there's bad things what go on inside the college, which there was, like there's generally things like that happen at a lot of colleges. But how are they trying to combat that? And how are they trying to make it better? I couldn't tell you. I've never seen them try and make it better at any college. That's the truth. But we're gonna go on with what the gentleman is saying, because I want to pick at the parts, because if I played it all one time, it would just get mixed up with what I want to say. And I do want to say a lot, as you can tell. I'm just getting started.
Because if young people are seeing that there are meaningful careers that are coming out of studying for a construction qualification, they're going to be more engendered to come in and
Right. So if you young people see that someone with a van is killing it and getting it in life, you're going to be more interested in getting in that trade, because you're going to think in your head, oh, Steve's dad makes bare money. Guess what? You don't know Steve's dad. He could be living off his credit card. That's the truth. And the reality is that there is not so many people who are winning in construction now as due to what there was 5, 10, 15 years ago. The facts is that we're not in a place where the economy is like, it's not balanced itself out, innit? Everyone's still getting fucked. So basically, where you are at the moment, yeah, it's sort of like looking up to see if things are going to change. But the reality is that there are not a lot of people who are even on 50 grand a year. And 50 grand a year is not a lot. Do you get it? Like, what people have been told in the media is obviously to hype it up. So you run inside there and you start to do it. But it's very difficult to grow. It's very difficult to even grow your own company because of the fact of there isn't so much work. You're now battling against 4 or 5 people tendering for the same job. That's the truth. You know, if you could get a job instantly and stuff like that, kudos to you, because you've tried. But if you have a connection, this is why I tell all of my students who I'm in the classroom with, if you know someone, your dad's friend, your friend's friend, your cat's friend, I don't care whose friend it is, get in contact with them, yeah, and ask them if you could have some work experience. Show them that you're interested, yeah, and possibly that person might be your best bet to be able to get that work experience from and a possible lead up of a job, right? And generally, when a lot of people take that information which I tell them and go and see that person, they'd be surprised, because that person's like, wow, do you know what? Yeah, I'll give you a go, because you're willing to try, because you're willing to do something for free. You're willing to do something off your own back, because I know your college ain't gonna contact me, but we can work together, because I can see that you're a person who wants to do something, yeah? And don't get me wrong, I'm going to speak about the people who don't want to do anything, because there's a lot of them inside the colleges, and I'm going to tell you the reason why in a little bit, yeah? We're going to get to that point. I just want to get to the rest of this guy's video, because it was quite interesting for me to hear as someone who actually has been active in the same thing. Let's carry on.
And do this qualification. And also, one thing I say to, because I'm rubbish with my hands, I always say to construction students, with your skills that you've got with your hands, you can take that anywhere around the world. And if you've been...
That's cap. That's cap. Let me tell you why that's cap. Your skills can be it can be interchangeable by going to different countries. Yeah, you can get your skills like transferred over. If you go to Canada, let's say, if you go to like US, let's say, anywhere within the Commonwealth. It's not everywhere in the world, my guy. Trust me, because it is British does have high standards of education, especially when it comes to a skilled trade. That is true, but there's no demand for anybody anywhere in the world. Do you get it? Because the whole world is in the same position of financially, the money is not being spent. This is why you got to study the market. This is why you got to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this for now? Am I doing this for 10 years later? Because if there's a plan, there's an understanding. If there's no plan, there's no idea. You got people who struggle, who you will see people who struggle, and they will tell you that they struggle. So if more people get into the place where people are struggling, how are they going to get on? You tell me. You tell me. Because that's not the case. You know, like when people were getting, so I would say 8 to 9 years ago, yeah, I would get messages to go to Saudi Arabia to work. Only reason why I didn't really want to go, in a relationship with a nice girl, not interested in God, right? I regret it because it was time to make money. There is times when I've heard people go to Canada to go and work, yeah? There is not many agencies or many people online that are saying that we've got international jobs looking for tradespeople with NVQs. You go and try and search it and see how many companies you find that are requesting people from the UK or England to be able to go over there for an NVQ. You're not going to find anybody because there's nobody asking. This is why you have to understand and read the market for yourself, not listen to what someone says, because generally when I hear lecturers say that, yeah, it's you've been singing from a hymn book, which a hymn book was written like 10 to 20 years ago. At the end of the day, 10 to 20 years ago, yeah, it was good then. Maybe 2008, just come off the recession. Yeah, people was asking then. But today, they're not asking, my friend, man. You need to stop the cap, because you see all this wrong information given to the Gen Zs and the wrong, they're never going to listen to you. They're going to be like, no, that guy sold us. And that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is empower people with information which you know what affected you, what fucked up your shit for you to move forward. You understand? But again, my aggression isn't towards this person. I don't know him. Hence why I'm not showing you the screen. But I just want to dissect some of the points, because there's so many times I've wanted to speak and say something and say out to people, no, it's not those reasons. The reasons are deeper than that. You know, I'm going to get to the other reasons why. I'm going to tell you why some of the students are so difficult. And I'm going to tell you why employers are not really coming in, the real reasons why and stuff like that. But we're going to just finish off this guy's clip because it intrigued me. And I thought it would make good conversation and good content, because that's what we do here at Mr. London Plumber. We speak about things which are relevant. Yeah, it's always relevant to talk about trade, because I'm a trade person, right? And people who generally come across my page are trade people, or they're interested within the trade and they want to understand, just like other people want to understand. Do you guys make all that money? No. The answer is no. Half of the man them don't make that type of money. They're eating chicken and chips. That's what they're doing.
Qualified in the UK, you are seen as something extra to countries abroad. You are in.
Depending on the countries you're talking about. If you're going, imagine if you're in your second year of plumbing now. You're saying to yourself, yeah, I'm going to go out and live in Dubai. Dubai is paying something like 5,000, whatever the currency thing is. Excuse me, I've never been there. I don't know. But that is not a high wage of living to live a luxurious lifestyle. You can check it on the internet for yourself if you don't believe me. But I digress, because a lot of us want to live in the sun. And you got to think about it. Some of the sunniest places are some of the most expensive places. I was going to search Monaco, but there's no point. You understand? It's not looking like they really need a plumber there.
Demand. I think apprenticeships back in the day, from whether it was trade or not, back in the even for Osborne, they were always seen as something to attain, to aspire to. And then for decades, it wasn't. Now that's starting to happen again. And
aspire to, I wouldn't say aspire to, because people still understand that they're on this level of trajectory of growing. Yeah, it's like steps, right? So your first year of your apprenticeship, they're going to pay you mid to shit money. Third year, mid to shit money. Some people, you got to understand, as their life goes on, things are going to start to happen. They meet a girlfriend, maybe they get the girl pregnant, maybe they need to start driving, maybe they need to, all of these cost things are going to start going out, and these people are not going to be earning enough. They're not going to be earning enough. That's the truth. If they're going to be earning enough, I'll eat my words. But guess what? I'll probably never take this video down because it will be factual a couple of years later. I'm sure. The economy needs to change, and people need to look at how these things affect us, innit? There's not so much building work going on within London. Construction is not on an all-time high. The hourly rate is coming down, yeah? Even though the minimum wage went up, yeah? You got to think about it, innit? Most of these young people getting into these apprenticeships, yeah? They can't go into JD and go and buy the newest trainer and still have money to go to work. They couldn't. They couldn't do that week on week because they're not getting enough money. Do you get it? I realized that, and I clocked that for myself, yeah, a long time ago. So, you know, like, granted, you don't go out and spend all your money when you get it. That's the truth. And you should save your money. But you know what? That's not what young people are going to do. Young people want money at the end of the day. When you're young, yeah, that's when you want the most. It's only when you get, maybe when you get a little bit older, you get a little bit down the content road. And being content doesn't mean that you're going to give up. It just means that you're a little bit more understanding about how your money has to stretch. You don't have to do that when you're younger. Again, you've got a lot of opportunities. When I was in my apprenticeship days, I mean, I used to work at JD Sports. I've told people that before. Me working at JD Sports was an extra, like, I don't know, I think it was an extra like £200 a week plus my apprenticeship money. So I was getting like five, nearly like £600 a week then. And that was enough for me at the end of the day, innit? Work didn't kill me too much because I'm young, innit? I don't mind getting up. I don't mind doing what I have to do. I'm not trying to say the younger generation not going to do that. They're going to have to do what they have to do. But saying that, I don't always agree. You know, I don't have to agree with what people say, and that's the truth. And I feel that that's the beauty about life, is that we all see things through different ways. That we all see things on our own opinion, innit? Like, my own opinion is studying the game and being there and realizing that, do you know what? The level of support for people when they're getting into college is at an all-time low, because colleges just accept anybody because they're a business. You know, you got to understand that. And when I realized that for myself, yeah, that kind of made me say, oh, shit, this is dangerous. So that led me to say, one time I had a parents' evening. This is the first ever parents' evening I had, yeah. And no, it was not a parents' evening. It's where, like, you know, like when you're finishing school and you're coming to college. Sorry, it's one of those, an open evening. Sorry. And so when we've had the open evening, you got to get generally 5 A to C's, 4 A to C's to get on, to qualify to get on the plumbing course, yeah. But they're taking students and stuff like that with 1 or 2, generally 1, right? So they have to do maths and English, yeah. It's a have to do maths and English. While you're trying to do maths and English, you got to learn your level 1 plumbing. This is where it just starts to become such a strain with the students, yeah, because they're upset that they still got to do learning while they want to do something which they're gonna earn from in their head. You're not gonna be earning from any of that plumbing situation for the next 5 to 6 years. So it's more of a learning process. But again, when you're not getting paid and there's no incentives, and you're hearing that other people have got paid, and you know somebody who's getting some money from it. Oh, Billy has got a brand new pair of Jordans. Cool, you're not Billy, you're you, innit? But it's not wrong for them to see other people and want the things what others want. I see this and I know this by talking to them, yeah? Because when I sit down and I talk to them and I say, why do you want to be a plumber? First things first, I want to make money. Okay, plumbers don't make the most money though. So you could do anything else. Oh, no, I want to make money because my dad's friends told me or this person's told me. That's good that you've listened to other people's advice, but this is your life, young man, young woman. So you need to take control of it at the end of the day. Listening to other people's great. Getting other people's ideas of what you want to do is, yeah, you know, it's something to go along, but you're not going to live your whole life by doing that. We know that. So you got to change that way of thought sometimes. And changing that way of thought is letting people know what it's actually really like, innit? Because my content when I get on and I speak like this, yeah, it's all from personal experiences and living the life of a lecturer at the end of the day. You know, surprisingly, a lot of lecturers are not tradespeople, period. None of them are. Well, I would say I've come across about 5% of people who are actually tradespeople. The rest of them, they're not. And it's not a dig at them, but in my eyes, if you've never really done the job, how could you do it? How could you teach it? That's how I think, right? Everyone doesn't think like that, which is, it's okay. You think how you need to think. But if someone's never installed a tap or installed a bathroom, how's he going to tell you how it needs to be done? You've never done it outside of this classroom. Really? Okay, cool. Because it's good. It sounds weird to me, but it's accepted within a college environment, right? And another thing I want to say, yeah, and this is the reason why a lot of like young students come out the back by coming out of college, I'm saying. They leave not really knowing nothing. And this is one of the key things, right? So you've always got someone in the classroom with you so in the classrooms, it's just me, the lecturer. When I'm in the workshop, it's me, the lecturer, and the technician, right? The technician is normally a student who used to go to the college, who is a good student and who they want to trust and they want to pay basically low wages because they don't want to pay an adult, right? That's how they get that loophole out of that. Don't worry, you'll get over it in the comment section if anyone is that person. But yeah, I'll just tell the truth, right? So that technician, they know their MVQ level 2 and MVQ level 3 if they've got it right, but they've got no experience with going out there doing jobs, right? I think it's always best for them to go out there and to get some experience, but they've chose to get a job because it's a job which has just been offered to them. So why not? I know, you know, when you got to look for work, it's harder to look for work when you haven't got work. So be in work while you got work. That does make sense for them. So I'll give them that on a merit, right? But when they start doing your assessment for you or start helping you, assisting you in ways which, oh, you got to bend it like this. Oh, you got to do. That person doesn't know how to bend the pipe. If we're talking about bending a pipe, they're not sure how to do it because the other people have assisted them so much. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. Again, there is a fine line in teaching and showing someone how to do something. Yeah. Giving them the tools and telling them the right thing to do, which might be a tutorial at the beginning. So let's say I'm going to bend a offset. Yeah. I'm going to do a tutorial with a bit of copper pipe. I'm going to show everyone. We're going to stand around the desk. This is how it's done. That's how it's done. Let's bend there. Let's bend there. Let's bend there. Right? I might give you the tram line so you can practice on that. Or what I might do is I might do the tutorial in front of everyone so they can visually see what I'm doing and hopefully they can pick it up. And then I'm going to ask 2 people to come out, get the pipe benders, and now do the bends in front of us to see if we can have a little bit of an idea. Because some people learn off of others, yeah, and they might be more intrigued or seeing what Steve or Bill or what Stacey does, how she does it, and then going back and getting it the first time themselves. Great, excellent. So that's the way I like to teach people, right? And everybody's different. And I've seen it because I've been in the classroom and been in the workshop with loads of different lecturers of different skills. People have been doing it for 20 years, 25 years, blah, 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 blah. Cool. But most of them people do not bend copper pipe. They will not do a tutorial when it's practical themselves in the workshop at any point. They don't do it. And it used to fathom me. I used to be like, how are they going to learn if you don't show them? Because school has given you all your information. And I know this because I went to school. So did they went to school. School gives you all your information and it's just there for you to read, there for you to do, there for you to think. That's not the case with college. And if you don't kind of carry that on, yeah, it's hard for people to understand. I learned a long time ago, there is 7 different ways of learning, yeah? And we generally only use one, right? So if people don't get it from other ways, you have to try to give them other ways, examples on how to learn something. But they don't, they're not given it, which is sad because it probably stops a lot of the young people from picking up something as quick as they probably could, because we all have skills in different ways, yeah? It's just about tapping into them. Like, as a lecturer, you got to have a high IQ of people, right? So if you're able to study people and say, oh, okay, you have a good understanding of what an X dimension is as a student. This person doesn't have no idea what an X dimension is. They're just always cutting the pipe off instead of cutting it the right size. So maybe you could sit next to him, or you could sit next to him when you're in the workshop, then he'll show you, then you'll show him, and he probably might understand it a little bit more off of you, because when I seem to talk, he just doesn't listen as much. It's just simple. It's not a personal thing. You're not going to get this, as a lecturer, you're not going to get the same reaction out of everybody. Some people are going to take this thing a lot more seriously. Others might take it as in like, you know, I'm just at college, I don't pay for it. But there's times that I've tried to show people, and this is what I'll talk about when it comes to difficult students, right? There's times when I've tried to show people that this college course is free. Once you get to a certain age, you will have to pay for this course. Unless you have not got 7 grand to go to a private training center. That's the most expensive I've heard. I've actually heard 9 grand actually before, to go to a private training center. You better listen up to this information and try and study it and get it down, because it's worth this amount. Unless you got that amount when you're 21 or when you're 20 or whatever, cool, kudos. If you like spending your money, spend your money. Nothing's guaranteed at that point, because you might be past the threshold, or, you know, you might not be interested at that point, right? So I always tell people that there is a point in you learning this, because it can pay your bills. It's paid my bills. I'm honest proof of it can work, right? And for the students who just find it hard to just knuckle down and just stop being a class clown and stuff like that, and stop having that type of attitude, I mean, you know, you can only teach the ones that want to learn. That's it. The rest of them, just leave them. I can't play this, I'm going to be the person that's going to punish you, I'm going to be the person that's going to be onto you every single time you're late, because that's what you like to do. I can only report you a certain amount of times, but after that, you know, the interest goes, because we've now got to focus on the group. And it is about the group learning and the people who are here to learn. Yes, you have class clowns everywhere, but I think within construction, there's this thing of like, people, they want you to grow up, because you have to be grown up, because you're around grown up environments, which is hazardous environments as well. So you can't be acting the arse. You can't be acting the arse when you're on site throwing cups at people or throwing a bottle of water at someone's head when you're on a building site. And then you saying it was just a joke. They'll tell you to go home and don't ever come here again. And that's it. Like, there's no way of getting your mum to call up and saying, oh, mum, can you just call them to say, like, I was just joking and stuff like that. And I find that a lot of parents, they don't understand how their kids behave in those situations. I mean, I've seen and heard some of the rudest things. That's why I know most tradespeople like myself, they're not getting back into that in a hurry, because what you've got to deal with is behavior problems. And what you're challenged with a lot now is that someone will say, oh, I think this person's on the spectrum, but they haven't been diagnosed yet. Look, being on the spectrum means a lot of things, yeah? But if somebody needs help, you need to make sure they have the right help. Because I'm seeing being on the spectrum, that word alone in FE colleges and construction is like a buzzword which people like to use. Generally, you have the heads of the college actually just like condoning most of the foolish behavior which goes on inside the colleges and what they do as like, oh, they're just kids and blah, 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 blah. No. Some situations you cannot be doing. I'm going to tell you a story, yeah, of a college which I worked in. And the head of the college, yeah, this person, they confiscated some weed off of a student. I'd never really seen this. I'd never really had came across like a drug problem within the college or like drinking or something like that, because I just never seen it. I'll just be honest with you. Like I said, I taught at a lot of colleges. I never had seen that. So the student had the weed on him. Yeah, this is in London. I suppose it's going to happen, isn't it? I don't know. In 9 years, this is the first time it's ever happened. So it's not, I suppose it's going to happen. This was quite a weird one for me. And I didn't want no involvement, yeah? I'm just going to tell you that from the jump. Right, so they confiscated some weed off the student. The head of the college got the weed. And basically, the student said they was stressed out during lunchtime or whatever. Can they have a little bit back? And then she will give it back at the end of the day. Excuse me? Excuse me? Yeah, that's what she done. She gave it back to the student at the end of the day. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't there, but someone told me. And when they told me that, yeah, I had to say to myself, I don't want nothing to do with that college. Because I'm not openly telling people you should bring drugs to college and you should do it. If you've got to use drugs in life, that's your business. Again, I'm not a drug counselor or something like that. I can't be involved in that. I'm involved in education and teaching you something. Again, if you want to do your little zah, if you want to be smoking on that dog piss, that's your business. That's not my business when we're in college. My business is only to try and teach you something. And if you don't want to learn, if you don't want to think, there's nothing that I can't force you to do anything. It's best that you leave though, because you're disrupting the class. That's all I ask, politely. And again, if you don't listen, we'll get security to get you out, because I'm not into that. That's not for me. Again, the head of the college done this, but this lady who was the head of the college, I did ask her prior to this, like, what did you do before you started here? And she told me she was she used to work at Feltham Gel. And I'm like, what? Yeah, she used to do something. I'm like, what? What? What are you doing? Anyway, it just baffled me, man, because I actually had a meeting with the head of the college and the deputy head, yeah, and he was like, look, the situation with the students is getting out of hand. And I said, of course it is, because you got students pulling out Rizzler paper in the middle of the class. And you did not inform that person's parent. That person's 17. While we're talking about scientific principles, this person's trying to roll up a roach while I'm talking. I said, no, we can't have that. I don't know what you think this is. I think this is some Wiz Khalifa session. This is Snoop Doggy Dogg. Forget it. Forget it. I don't want to be here. And you lot have condoned that type of behavior to happen. Like it's normal. Like they should do that. Like, you're not corralling their lives even more by allowing them to do that in this vicinity. This vicinity is not for that. That same college, they had armed police come there one time to do some I don't know, it was like they wanted to show them some stuff and stuff like that. And I'm like, can you imagine the boys in blue is inside there and you lot are rolling up and the teachers are stashing the weed for you? Look at this, Taras Clark. Look at this. Look at these lecturers' faces and the head of the college's face when he's seeing the armed police person. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you, mate. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You're lucky. You're lucky. I never grew up a little snitch boy, but you are lucky. But I see what I see with my own eyes and I cannot unsee it. So I always wanted to tell this story because you don't know who the people who you're dealing with inside any of these colleges are. And that's the sad thing, because as a lecturer, you think that you're here for the better of the student and the better of everybody else. But the truth of the matter is that most colleges have not got anything designed to be able to help you with nurturing those students to get into other points. The relationships, what they said they were going to build with builders, companies, and there is hundreds of thousands of companies out there. But a lot of the companies and brands and stuff, like not the companies, the construction companies, they're going to come to college to get a LinkedIn picture. Sad, but that's all they're going to do, because the colleges have never built up a relationship with them. They've not tried to do that. They don't bring them on some open day. They don't invest in their relationship with the builders and the companies. They don't do that with brands neither, because a lot of brands make educational stuff and would love to support a lot of colleges and have free stuff to give them. I know that as an influencer. But guess what? The colleges just want a freebie. They're not really interested in building with the brand. I mean, I've got about 6 brands that I could always bring into colleges because they're good people. They want to help our younger generation get into plumbing, know more about some of the products, and they will bring them down. They will have them showcase them products from all across their line. And it's always to benefit the students. But you find when it comes to like the heating and plumbing show, the colleges say it's too much of a liability to take the students down there. No, not really. They should behave and they should want to go to things like this because it's where they're going to meet people within their industry. This is how you understand what products are going to be on your shelves. This is how you understand and meet other people who are in the same trade, which is necessary to do. The more links, the better. But they always put a hold on all these things because, yeah, the students can't behave. Yeah, they do behave wild. I've always had a wild 3 or 4 people within one group. They won't split them up because one of them students is the cash cow. Do you get it? You heard me speak about it. It's all about money. And me finding that it's all about money left me a little bit disheartened with it, but I like to do what I can do. And I have done what I have been able to do for those students. And that's the only thing I can do at the end of the day. I'm not going to be a person that's going to sit back, talk about it and say, like, why are these students so fucked up and all this? Or why is the pass rate so low? The pass rate's so low because, you know, a lot of students don't even buy this book for themselves. They don't even buy any of the books for the course, what they need. Don't get me wrong, the college will help you buy them. They're in the library as well. But no one ain't going to the library to go and get it. The amount of times that I've had to take students to the library to show them where the book is, it's mad. It's mad. But I wanted to get this video out because I feel that it was necessary, man. There's too much people talking stuff what they don't know. I know because I've been there. I know because I've been at private training center. Private training center is even worse because that's all about money. Again, money for your course. They're going to make sure you pass. Always got high pass rates because they'll drum it into you differently. You can't really drum it into the students differently. Again, people's attention spans are weaker and stuff like that. And they all don't have access to the smart screens and the things which we're teaching, which they should do from the jump. But I can do a part 2 to this video because I can really kill it with it. But do you know what? I feel exhausted because just thinking about it makes me tired. Make sure you're subscribed, liked, and shared. And yeah, just look out for the new posts, innit? I'll be telling the truth in the booth.